Silent Titans. Today, we will be playing the game Into the Odd, running Patrick Stewart's module, Silent Titans. This game was organized through Gauntlet Hangouts. You should go check Gauntlet Hangouts out. Lots of fun games. We're going to introduce our cast of characters and sort of recap the story thus far, and then dive right into the action. So, Jason Zanes, go for it.
All right, I'm Jason Zanes. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Sister Mary Philomena. She uses she, her, and she is a small, middle-aged, mild woman with a large sewing bag full of explosives.
And I'm Sherry Stewart. I use the pronouns she, her. I'm playing Belinda Hive, who uses the pronouns she, her. And she is a medium-ish, 20-something-year-old woman with stringy reddish hair and a former bedlamite. And apparently she sees things. We'll see what she sees tonight.
Hi, and I'm Jason Tachi. I'll be playing Maximum Max to his friends. Goblins. He is a super genius from the future. One of the only ones clued into the fact that this is all just a simulation. He also carries around a railgun and wears a polycarbonate sports jacket to compensate for his abysmally low ability scores.
Lovely, lovely. So, when we last left our intrepid adventurer, well, how did you spend the last couple of days, folks? What kind of trouble were you getting into?
We got hired to deliver contraband soap to Legion's Fort, I believe it's called.
Yes, Legion's Fort.
And so we did. We left some diamonds that we scooped out of a Titan's head with the, I believe it's a cow woman that we met.
That's Regina Cow Queen.
Yes, and she's the one who hired us to smuggle soap. We managed to not say anything too foolish to reveal our true motives to the guards at Legion's Fort. We bought a number of things in their market and met their illustrious leader, maybe the leader of all of Weir Heel. It's not entirely clear to me.
He certainly thinks so.
Yeah, successfully delivered contraband soap. Got invited to that aforementioned leader's place over for lunch, where we were not served any lunch. It was very disappointing. Oh, skipped the part. Met a Woodwoes individual whose name escapes me. Green, thank you. Who we have hired to be paid in leaves, bags of leaves, I guess. Great deal. To carry our stuff and just kind of generally hang out with us. The Woodwoes being folks who are slowly turning into animals the longer they stay here in Weir Heel. I guess that's a risk for all of us true humans. Who knew? Certainly not us, because we all have amnesia. What was he? The Duke? Is that what he is?
I think it's Lord Hugh Lupus.
Lord. My bad. Lord Hugh Lupus basically, I guess, offered us a job to go collect taxes from every place and then bring them back, and he would take 10% of whatever we collected. It's not clear to me why we do this rather than just keeping whatever we collect, but whatever. That's the offer anyway. And then we went back to go get our diamond. Apparently wreckers stole it and went down the shore with it, which was very disappointing. So we went to chase after wreckers in the night, I believe. Yes.
I think it was as the sun was setting, but by the time you got out there, it was night.
Yeah, and so we saw some wreckers wrecking a boat, and it looked like wrecking the people on the boat. And we're now planning our approach into the wreckage and the melee and such.
Yes. So what you see is a a ship in flames along the shore. You are, just to give you a sense that we've got this map, you have moved sort of southwest from Ellesmere down towards Brunnen and Brom. Sort of you're at the seam there. Okay. You're not quite at the seam, but you're near there. And you see a ship in flames right at the shoreline, and in the light of that fire, you see what amounts to a slaughter. It appears that there are 11 people of all sorts who are almost done, really, with killing what appear to be the people who had fled from the burning ship. But a little bit closer to you, it seems that at least one person got away from the wreckage. And Josh, why don't you tell us who you are?
Yeah, of course. So I will be playing Fred Daggs. You see him. He is he/him pronouns. You see him, and he is wearing a British Army uniform from World War II, a little bit torn up, and he's not on his hands and knees, but it seems like he's just gotten up from them, and he's very young. And he's looking around. He's confused, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Just so you know, Josh, along with everybody else here, you don't really remember much before being on that ship.
Yeah.
Fred. So, so there's these 11 people attacking this group, and there is a young man in a uniform which possibly Max might recognize as being a World War II British uniform, and maybe Sister Mary has some inkling, depending on when she's from. We don't know.
I imagine her kind of Victorian, so she probably predates this.
Got it. Okay, sure. Very washed up on the shore, very close to the rest of you.
Is there any sort of structures? Is this the wreckers' camp, and do they have like huts or something?
So no. So this is empty shoreline. I think the picture seems to be that you can put together pretty clearly, right? Is that these wreckers somehow or another set the ship aflame, forcing it to shore, and then set upon the crew and passengers to presumably to rob them. I think they didn't quite all the way think through what the consequences would be for the cargo. This probably is not their usual strategy. Or maybe they're just incompetent. Unclear.
Does it look like we have any chance of saving any of the people getting killed, I guess?
If you rush, you could maybe get one of them, but you don't know. And there are 11 wreckers.
So I go, psst, psst, young man, come over here.
Fred looks around and he just crawls towards the first thing that makes a sound towards him.
Over here, come on.
Yeah, yes, I'm coming. And I do.
What are we going to do with him?
What should we do with you, young man?
I'm sorry, I don't quite know where I am. What's going on?
Well,
I don't think
just like us.
Yeah, join the crew. Well, we are here to try to get a diamond from these wreckers, and They look rather nasty. Do you want to help us get our diamond back?
Well, I don't know if I quite have a choice here, but I'll help.
And well, this conversation has been going on. Like you can see, the violence has ended, and the about half of the, so we'll say 5 of the wreckers are like rushing out to see if they can put out the fire and salvage any of what's left on the ship, and the other 6 are staying back to comb through the bodies of their victims. Five go out to 5 stay, and you can see one sort of a large ursine figure that seems to be like directing traffic between the 2 parties. You can't quite make out what their orders, but you can sort of hear that they're shouting things.
If we were to attack them, is there a better vantage point we could get to, up on a ship or something?
All right, so it's a beach. The beach is like there's sort of dunes above with some like sparse kind of grass. You could climb up those dunes probably without them noticing. It's dark and they're busy, and so have the high ground, but it's still 11 to 4.
Do they have guns, or are they just wreckers that hit?
I mean, you can't really see from here. Like, there's definitely the glint of metal in the firelight around them.
Mm-hmm.
They're armed for sure. With what, it's hard to say from this distance.
Okay. So what do you think? Should we talk to them, or are they the type we have to kill them to get our stuff back?
They look like they chose a sort of, what do you say, preemptive approach to strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't seem like the chatty sort.
So how about we get up on this bluff here and use our guns and our ray beams and everything we have, our rail guns and whatnot.
Explosives?
Explosive, yes.
Soap.
So, yeah.
Yeah, everything at our disposal. Yeah, I'll try and go a little further down the dunes so that we're not all drawing fire to the exact same spot.
Okay.
And she sort of says, "Does anyone here have strategery?" Because
I'm not trying.
I don't have a gun, but I do have some poison, and I have some sticks that I can see here. And I can put sticks in poison and put sticks in the sand. Where should I put them?
I don't suppose there are any discarded weapons on the shore nearby, huh?
I mean, there's like the if there are, they're like in amongst the wreckers and the bodies, right? They haven't cleared out yet.
Cool.
So is that the plan? You're gonna where do you want to lay down those sticks, Belinda?
I want to figure out where they're going to be and where their muzzle flashes will be coming from, and put the sticks in between the wreckers and those.
Okay.
I believe in my intuitive sense of these things.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you to roll will.
Will, okay.
Pretty good at that.
Yeah. But you can still mess that up.
Yeah.
But I got an 11 or 13, excuse me. So I make it by at least 5.
Fantastic. So you've done like a pretty good. You can sort of like see this is you can sort of see where along the ridge is too strong a word. The lump of those dunes would be like a good place to stick those to like bury those sticks with just like the point right above the sand.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's no guarantees that anyone runs through them, but if there's a charge, probably a few of them will get poked.
Yep.
So maybe I'll start it out by throwing some fire oil into their midst.
Yeah. So when that happens, you hear, and now you're closer also, right? So you can sort of get a better sense of who they are and what's there. And so you see that large ursine figure is in fact a bear woman, wearing a queen mask, not so different from Regina's, very, very similar. And that there are a mix of animal people, including a very large bull person, a couple, a true man, and what look like some people who are a little bit on their way to Woodwoes. Incidentally, Green has been following you very closely in this, but like is clearly very nervous. Is clearly very nervous.
It's all right, Green. We've done this before.
Probably.
Once.
Yeah.
Just one.
He grunts. He's become a little bit. I mean, he was never all that verbal. I guess you haven't been with him that long. All right, so so you see this group of 11 people of various sorts, and Sister Mary, you throw oil. Can you roll me a dex save, please?
Okay.
What did you get? I'm not looking at the dice roll.
Hold on. It doesn't seem to be working for me. Huh. Let me try double click it. It's not working. Let me reload.
Refresh, yeah.
Yeah, let me reload it. Where is it? I got a 4, so I made it.
Fantastic. Okay. What exactly were you aiming for?
Kind of the biggest bunch of them that I can do the most damage to the most of them.
Okay, yeah. So the bottle shatters, right? How were you throwing it? So you were throwing it as like a breakable bottle, or were you just?
It's like a more potent Molotov cocktail.
Got it.
So I light it and throw it, and it kind of.
Oh, sorry.
explodes.
It was you. Sorry, I misunderstood what you were doing there. All right. So yeah. So you hit the group. You hit the group that is searching all of the bodies. It lands sort of dead center on them. And throw and roll the damage. It's D6. How much is it? What's the damage on that?
It's D6.
It's D6. Yeah. So roll D6.
4.
Yep. So each one of them takes 4 damage. But all of a sudden, right, the flames go up. The bodies are on fire. Those four wreckers are on fire. And everyone sees that there are people up on the dunes. You hear the Bear Queen shout, roar, really. Go up and find who did that. There's no particular turn order right now. Anyone have an idea what they would like to do?
I have an idea, but I have to ask a rules question.
Go for it. I mean, you know the rules better than me.
That's my concern. I want to make sure that I'm not going to put myself in a situation where it's just like, whoop, no, I definitely did something that I'm statistically unlikely to benefit from in any way whatsoever. So normally I would expect if I'm going to shoot these guys, I just roll a D10 because that's the railgun attack.
Yep.
And then it's just going to hit one of them. And then if they're going to shoot me, as long as I'm like up in high ground and have cover, they're going to be reduced to attacking with a D4 until they reach me. Does that sound about right to you?
That is 100% correct.
Beautiful. Then I would love to just shoot whoever the nearest person is who's rushing at us based on the command to go rush at us.
You've got it. Roll your damage.
I rolled a 10.
Well then, hold on 1 second. Yeah. So you see, in like it's hard to, like, sort of silhouetted from behind in the flickering flames. A person, a tall human man, like wielding waving a saber over his head, fall to the ground.
I don't feel guilty. It's just a simulation.
But he starts to shakily get up almost immediately. Okay. Let's say Belinda is next.
I think I have little to add in the way of weapons since I have no ranged thing. But what I can do is I've got a cleaver, and I'm a little bit crazy times, so I have no problem with burying myself halfway in the sand. Just as they start to get over the rise, so I can give someone a cleaver to the ankle when they get here.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay.
Laying in wait.
Mm-hmm. And now, what's the other character's name? I'm sorry. Fred.
Fred, yeah. So Fred sees the shot fired and goes, "Oh, cool. Is that one of Hitler's crew? Because they always told us that we had to wait until they shot for. Oh, crap!" And he takes his rifle and he starts firing in that direction as well.
All right. Roll your damage.
Yep. That is a 7.
That is a 7. Okay. Yeah. So another sorry. You see a slim white humanoid figure fall to the ground. And silently. And it's sort of, they're not dead, but they're writhing on the ground, breathing very heavily. Okay. So, as all of this has been happening, and this first group has been charging you, of which three remain. 2 hold up before they get to the top, and just kind of one stops, and you can see pretty clearly now that this is a pig person wearing a fool's mask, copper fool's mask, kind of a jester's cap shape on the top half, and like a corroded kind of domino mask across the eyes as decoration on this full face mask. Right, so if it's all shiny copper except for a kind of like corroded green around the eyes, and this pig pulls up and fires. How are you folks laid out? Are you like spread out in a line? I know that Belinda is buried up to her neck or shoulders, I guess, like chest high. How about the rest of you?
Is there any cover? Or
There's
are we
like wispy. There's like sort of wispy grass. Like from a distance, it definitely covers you. But as the they're now close enough that they can definitely make out. The people who are there are definitely close enough that they can make out your shapes. The other 6 back towards the shore won't be able to sort of see where you are.
Okay.
I think Max said he was moving down a little way, so I think we're probably the 3 of us, Max and Fred and I, are kind of up on the bluff, maybe spread out, I don't know, 20 yards away from each other or so.
Got it. Great. So this pig takes a shot with a blunderbuss, and does 3 damage to Fred.
Ouch.
Meanwhile, a sheep wearing a mask of a young girl with pigtails, and you think that's actually human hair in the mask, although you can't quite tell, especially in the dark. Charges at you, Sister Mary, and does 6 damage.
This is shooting a gun or something?
No, sorry. Thank you for correcting me. Charges at you. They're holding a pike.
Oh, okay.
A large, long pike, and they just charge at you and do 6 damage while keeping you at a distance. I think that you're driven to your knees, but like can easily sort of rise up. But you've still got that like 3-4 feet of space between you because of the pike.
And might they have hit one of Belinda's stakes that she put in the sand?
Neither of these 2 did, but hold on one second. And the other 2 went down beforehand. But yeah. As you see a goat just as it's getting close to the top of the ride stumble, and go down, and presumably it hit a stake. Thank you for reminding me.
Sure.
To roll that die. One of them did not get far enough the one with the blunderbuss didn't get that close. One with the pike missed them, and the other one went down. And like as all of this is happening, the ones that were like the Bear Queen is still staying back, and I think the other 5 are sort of like arraying themselves out on the beach, past like they're not charging, they're staying back. You could even hear low rumbles as if the bear is sort of trying to tell them without you hearing to come up with some kind of a tactic or another. Meanwhile, right, we're coming back around. We are now coming back around to Mary's turn, and they are still on fire, somewhat. So those 5 take an additional 3 damage, which means that, hold on, too many different tabs to do this in. And oh, that's the wrong die. It's better. Okay, you see the fallen sort of pale humanoid figure stop moving. It had been sort of writhing before, but it has stopped. The one with the cavalry saber that was starting to get back up arrests their movement. They are done. And then the other 2 you don't really see, and the other 3 you don't really see any any change. The Sheep Maiden is still on the ground, and the other two are holding back. And that one, the one that you have not seen do anything yet, the goat, is starting to back off. Back towards the rest of the wreckers.
The one that attacked me still standing?
Yes, the one that attacked you is still standing, but looking quite wobbly.
I'll go ahead and hit it with my police baton.
Sure. Roll your damage.
2 damage.
Okay. Yeah. So you see them flinch for a moment, and fall. Like you hit their head, and it's like a light goes out, and they just drop. You don't hear breathing.
Okay.
So just who is left is a goat, a goat in a moon mask. Now at this point, just fleeing back towards the rest of their party, and a pig in a fool mask who is like looking back towards the rest of it. You see him look back, and then the you hear the bear yell, "Hold them there!" And the rest of the wreckers are just like taken off down the beach. Some of them, they have sacks, so whatever they've got, they are running. Max, what do you do?
I want to shoot that bear.
Okay. At this point, right, she's running away pretty quick. It's right there.
The bear. I thought the bear was one calling orders.
Yeah, but meaning the order was run, and they all. Sorry if that was good. Right. She ordered. Let's
hold them there so that they can get away, not hold them there so that they can catch up to us.
Yeah. She called for the goat, the goat to hold you, to try and hold you. Right. They don't know how many of you there are.
Fair.
Presumably they think it's a lot. And they're just like, let's book it. I'm going to be honest. I don't know that this goat has enough morale to actually stand their ground. But it's your turn, Max. What would you like to do?
Turn my gun on the goat and say, "Hold right there."
Goat drops their blunderbuss. Don't hurt me, please. I'm harmless now. No weapons. No weapons.
All right, lie on the ground.
He lies on the ground.
That's great. Belinda, do you need a blunderbuss?
Oh yeah. She gets up. She goes, "It is kind of nice in the sand. It's gotten all warm during the day." But anyway, yes, I would love or a pike too. Oh, and yeah, she'll go around and gather weapons from the fallen.
Yep. So what you've got is as you're doing all of this, right? Those wreckers are like going. If you do not immediately pursue them, you are going to lose them.
Oh,
I mean, I just want you should know that that's the choice you're making.
okay.
I mean,
Well,
I'm just gonna quickly ask that goat. You know where they're going, right?
I mean, there's a couple choices. They hide different places. I know a place I can take you where they'll turn up eventually, but eventually could be an hour, eventually could be a week.
Quick, who's holding the diamond that they stole from the cow lady?
We didn't. What?
You took a diamond from Regina Cow Queen.
Regina gave us the stuff she gives us.
I knew it.
I don't know what was in it.
What stuff does Regina give you?
Whatever rolls up in Ellesmere. Hella has it all. I don't know.
Who's that?
Just don't hurt me. The bear. There might
Well-
have been a diamond in there, but I think Regina sometimes keeps stuff. We're not the most honest group of people, really. But I'm telling the truth. I'm telling you all the truth. They're not honest.
So I'm gonna put the manacles on them with a smile.
I guess I could chase them. I mean, I am the most badass one here.
At this point, now that this conversation is taking place,
Oh,
they've they're no longer on the beach, right? They've gone up over the dunes. They know the area.
mhm. Shucks.
And you could try and there's a bunch of them, so it's possible you can try and see if you can track them. You can maybe try to see if you can track them. Sand doesn't do it, but you can try and make your way through to see if you can find them. That's an option. You can listen to the goat who, just so you know, that is a Garrow moon goat. I'll put that in the chat.
Garrow.
So I'm thinking maybe we want to take the moon goat back to Regina and have some tea and fish sandwiches and discuss the situation.
I mean, you can definitely do that. It is dark. Right now at this point, it's probably 11 at night. The fire is dimming. You can follow the water back to Ellesmere, no problem, right? You were just walking along the coast there. Take you about hour and a half, 2 hours. You'll get there in the middle of the night. You can camp out here. It seems relatively safe. There is a risk that the records will come back and try and ambush you in your sleep. But they seemed pretty spooked.
Well, what do you guys think?
Or you can just continue traveling either along the coast or deeper into Weir Hill.
I'd hate just to give up our diamond, though.
Yeah. Well, we could go to this place that they will eventually show up and
Yeah.
lay in wait.
Yeah, that sounds like as good an idea as any.
All right.
Unless Regina kept the diamond and just lied to us.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We did kind of ask her about it, but she very easily could have lied to us. I mean, we could try. I mean, maybe it'd be better to go talk to her first. That's less dangerous. And if she doesn't have the diamond or tell us anything, then we can go to where Garrow Moon Goat tells us the wreckers like to hang out.
Sure. Let's collect any animal masks that are unused at the moment, too. Those seem like they might be valuable.
All right. Let me go and get the
So-
sticks.
Yeah, and there's a maiden mask on the sheep, and a full mask. Oh no, on the pig. I may have swapped some dead characters for live characters, but it's all fine. It's all fine.
Okay, let's do this thing.
All right, so you're going back.
Yeah.
What you do? Do you just show up at her door at 2 a.m?
Sure.
Okay.
When she opens the door,
Oh.
I'm gonna have explosives in one hand and a match in the other.
All right. Well, I mean, so you're pounding and no one's answering.
Fred is standing in the back like a lost puppy, for the record.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's just business as usual.
This will just take a minute, Fred.
Just pounding on that door. No one is coming to the door.
We don't hear any scurrying or anything inside.
she's a cow. She doesn't really scurry, right? You don't hear any stomping or
Plotting.
snorting. Nothing.
Hmm.
Is it unlocked?
No, sorry, no. It is quite locked, and you hear a shout from behind. Who's out there in the night? Is it wreckers? Is it Welshmen? If you're not, I can keep you safe. 1 shilling. 1 shilling for the night. But you have to show me that you are not dangerous.
It is us. We have returned.
You should not be out in the night. It is quite dangerous.
Should we give him a shilling and talk to Regina in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember. What's this guy's name?
Garrow Moongoat.
No.
No, the other one.
I was just talking.
Turnus Goat Star. I'll put it back.
Okay.
It's another goat.
Turnus, it is us. We have returned. We have a shilling. We would like our regular boat, please.
Who's that? Well, there's a Woodwoes with you now. I see.
Mhm.
That's an extra shilling, and you'll have to tie him up outside.
No.
No Woodwoes.
No.
He's
How
not.
about if we give you an extra shilling? Can we take him inside?
3 shillings.
Yeah.
4.
All right.
4 for the Woodwoes. And who's this goat?
It's not a Welshman. Oh, that is.
Looks like he's pretty hurt pretty bad.
It is not a wrecker.
He's actually a
He's in
apparently
manacles.
he's a business associate of Regina's. Isn't that right, Garrow Moongoat?
Oh. Yeah. Well, I don't really do business. I just kind of hang out when Helly does. But we're acquainted. Well, you don't look so good, is what Turnus says. He don't look so good. He turns back to you folks. I don't know. Did wreckers attack him? Welsh? For the shilling, he can be safe. I have nothing, no salves, but he'll have a good night's sleep.
Okay.
All right. So you pay him. That's a total of 4 for the Woodwoes, 5 for the rest of you. So that is 7 shillings.
Okay.
And you go to sleep. You sit awake. You post a guard. What do you?
Sure, I'll guard.
And I'll split it with you. We just
Great.
know that Sister Philomena needs a rest, and Fred looks very rattled, so he probably could use a good night's rest as well.
Okay. Who's ever taking the first watch? Roll a will save, please.
Do you want to do that? You want me to?
Sure, I will happily do it.
Great.
And Josh, I think you can heal your hit points lost. It only takes a short rest.
Yeah, you can heal. Not. I think was
Okay.
it 3?
Yeah, I lost
Oh.
3. Fantastic. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so I make my will roll handily by 15 or 13.
Yeah.
excuse me.
So about 45 minutes, an hour later, after the rest of your companions are soundly sleeping, you see a bulky figure making her way down the docks along the canals of Ellesmere, very slowly, but quickly enough that if you take the time to wake them up and let them know what's going on, you may yet miss it.
I think that I would like to catch up with Regina.
Okay.
So,
So you catch her
yes.
on the edge of town, going towards Legion's Fort, wrapped in a shawl. Oh, well, hello, dear. What are you doing out at such an hour?
Oh,
I would offer you tea, but we're not in my home. I was just on my way to Legion's Fort, hoping to make it there by daybreak.
And she sort of stops and goes, the problem is that we needed to talk to you earlier. My suggestion is you come in and speak with my friends, and then we'll escort you to the fort.
No, no, no. I must get there very, very quickly. And she continues to walk.
And I will catch up with her, and I go, I don't think that you understand, Lady Regina. We're going to need that diamond back.
I told you the wreckers have it.
And the records say they don't.
Well, who do you trust, me or them?
And
I'm deeply, deeply wounded. I have hosted you in my home. I have served you tea.
I feel terrible. I mean, it's one lady to another, and yet I must admit, it's looking as if you have told quite the tale to us.
I mean, she is walking as she's talking to you.
Okay, and
she's going to keep moving.
all right.
You're getting at this point. You are sort of like you're just past the entrance to town and onto the road to Legion's Fort.
And I say, well, and she sort of stops and says, pause a moment, please. And she'll reach down to her apron, and she'll get out a nice handkerchief. She'll tip her jar of ether onto it, and she'll go, we do wish to speak to you, so who would we look for when we get to the town? She's just like sort of...
I mean, she has not stopped moving.
Okay.
I assume you are like walking.
Yeah,
you can keep up. You can
her.
keep up with her as you're doing. I'm not saying, but like she is not going to stop moving unless you stop her.
Okay.
But she's also not able to move quickly enough to really outpace you either.
Okay.
Right. So she says, "Oh, talk to Ecub. Ecub will know where to find me."
Yeah, we quite like Ecub.
Yes, he's delightful. A pleasure to do business with.
Oh, that reminds me. He gave us something to give to you, and it had quite fled my mind. And she will pass her that handkerchief.
Yeah, I mean, she takes the handkerchief and stuffs it in her pocket. And
oh no! And she says that it has a scent on it that will remind you of something.
Roll a will save.
Okay. Yes, by 4.
Mm-hmm. So she holds it up to her nose and takes a whiff and says, "Oh dear, you are quite right. It does remind me of something. I think a time I spent in hospital in my youth." As she passes out and collapses loudly to the ground.
Oh my goodness! I better get some help. I'll grab her basket and run back to the boat to get some help to pull Miss Regina back. But make sure that I go through her basket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You do it. You make sure not to go through her basket.
Oh no! I take her basket back with me.
Right. Oh,
does that make any sense?
Yeah. Do you look in her basket?
I will. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's some cheese. There's some tea packets. There is a carton of cigarettes, Marlboro Reds, and that is more or less it. I assume you wake everybody else up and you show up, and it's probably about 5 a.m. now.
Yes, and we will carry Regina back to the boat so that she can sleep. And I'll say that it was horrible. She just swooned on the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is now the next morning. I think all of you need to roll a D100.
Can we check to make sure too that on her person there's not like a diamond squirreled away like in her apron?
There's no there is no diamond squirreled away on her person. Do you take her back to her boat or to the boat you've rented from Turnus?
I would take us back to our boat, right?
Yeah. So.
All right.
And I'll take one of the manacles off the goat guy, and I'll put it on her. So now they're both manacled
to each other. Great. All right. So you're there on the boat. You're there on the boat. I think. Anyone get 2 or less on your D100 rolls? This is the curse of the Woodwoes, Fred. If you every day your percentage chance of getting a mutation goes up by 1. You are. I guess you're at 1, and everyone else is at 2.
I got
Okay.
38.
Yeah. So long as it's not 1 or 2, you are all golden.
All right.
Okay. So the ether lasts like a full 24 hours, right? So what? No.
No, it would be like ether on a thing, so it would be like an hour.
She's also pretty big. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a cow. Yeah. I think in like basically by the time you're getting her to the boat, right after going to get in trouble, like she's coming out of it. And she's like foggy, and she's like, "Oh, well, it was so horrendous. It was, I was ill, and my mother. Oh, it was dreadful. It was dreadful. Why are we on one of Turnus's boats?
Oh, I don't know.
You-
You just fell over on the road, so we carried you back here.
Oh,
Didn't
thank
want
you.
something bad to happen.
Thank you so much for your kindness. But I do have to be getting to Legion's fort. Oh, thank you for carrying my basket. May I?
No, I didn't want to leave your things there. Yes.
Well, thank you. May I have it back, please?
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, I guess she's sort of like sitting on the deck of the boat, right? And she's holding her basket, and she tries to stand up, and she, sort of stumbles and realizes that she's not quite ready to get up, and says, "Well, would one of you be a dear and go back to my boat and maybe get some tea?"
Sure.
Oh, thank you, dear. That's quite kind. I'm not fully myself.
I will head back to that boat and turn over, leave no surface unturned, looking for diamonds.
So you don't find a diamond. But what you do find is a receipt from signed by stamped with what looks like a bear claw for a bunch of goods, including a drone, a laser pistol, 3 mysterious somethings, and 1 Titan diamond.
I will grab that receipt and also some tea
Mm-hmm.
and head back.
Wonderful. So you go back to the boat. Well, so before you go back to the boat, while Max was gone, what were the rest of you doing?
Didn't Turnus leave like food in the boats for us in the morning?
Yeah. There's some light repast. There's some
Fruit and stuff.
some bread, some fruit. Nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
we'll have a little breakfast with her.
She is getting into much better spirits, and is regaling you with stories of Ellesmere in its prime, and she can tell you its prime was not that great, but at least the ships came in and the canals were full. Hugh Lupus was younger then, just as mean, but somewhat thinner. Oh, it was a glorious day.
And by the way, Regina, this person you're manacled to, that's Garrow Moongoat. Garrow Moongoat, I believe you know Regina.
Hi, Regina, and she just scowls and says, "I don't believe we've ever met. You must know me by my reputation." And he's like, yeah, your reputation. I've never talked to her before. Not once. Turnus kind of sticks his head in and says, "Oh, what's Regina doing here? What is all this? Manacles?" And I did not let you this boat for you to be. You're not Welsh, are you? And he flees. My boat is no longer safe. It's not clear. He seems to have some purpose, but it's not clear what it is.
Regina, what do you think of Turnus? He's I like that guy.
he's a bit of an alarmist, but this was a bit of a Welsh thing to do. Manacle me to this ruffian. I bet he's a wrecker. You don't seem like you've bathed in days. Are you sure you're not Welsh? And that Max arrives back.
I brought the tea and also the receipt for everything that you sold to the wreckers, including our Titan diamond.
That's
Do
not
you take this with sugar?
That's not a receipt. That's a list of the things they stole.
They left you with a list of things they stole with
No,
their signature on it.
I
What's the
made
thing
it.
that you stole?
I made it. It was a piece of paper that was sitting on my table, and that bear, that terrifying bear with her muddy paw, crashed it down on the table and said, "Give me all you have of value." And so, I gave her all I had of value, which unfortunately included your diamond. And then when they left, I made a list, so I would know if it ever made it. You know that eCub sells illegal things sometimes. Don't tell Lord Hugh. So I thought maybe we're friends, and if I could get it, but I forgot the list at home.
Now, Regina, you need to tell us where we can find the bear man and our diamond, bear lady, and our diamond, or you're going to be spending the day manacled to this person who may or may not be a wrecker. It's up to you. How do you want to spend your day?
Roll will, Sister Mary.
Okay. I made it. I got a 9. I have a 10.
Okay. Yeah. So she sighs and says, "Well, I certainly don't know where they live. They come, they take things, they intimidate me. They do pay me a little, not nearly what they're worth." And you hear Garrow snort at that. Not nearly what they're worth. Looking daggers back at Garrow. And it's a receipt. I insist on it. They don't like it because a record of their crimes. But
so, Regina, I think the only way to make this right, maybe you should come with us and speak to them. I think Garrow knows where we can find them, and maybe offer them twice what they gave you to get our diamond back to make this right with the 4 of us.
All right, I'm going to tell you something. You can do this. She will agree to this. But number one, Garrow will tell you, there's no guarantee that you get there. And she knows this, and she'll tell you this, right? Like once you start really wandering into where who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, she is an elderly cow lady. Right? She was running away as fast as she could from Belinda, like really. And Belinda was easily keeping pace while fumbling through her pocket. So it will also slow you down enormously.
How about if we say, Regina, why don't you get one of your pieces of paper, write down that you have sent us to retrieve our diamond and give us twice the amount of money you paid for it, and we will give that to the wreckers. Get our diamond. Everyone will get out of this without any further harm. You can move on with your life, and we will move on with ours, and the wreckers will continue probably to do business with you.
I don't have nearly that much money. Not near, and she's telling you the truth. She's telling you the truth.
Okay.
Welcome, Asher. We'll sort you out in just a minute. You don't have I don't have nearly that much money. I have what they paid me, and I was going with a delivery for eCub, and to collect on his debts, and yes, maybe a little bit to escape from whoever was pounding at my door in the middle of last night. Also, I maybe would have delayed or waited for someone else to do it for me otherwise.
Okay, Regina, give us what you have. We will do the rest. And just a note or something so we can show that to them so they won't just start beating us up when we arrive.
Mm-hmm. So she goes into her basket, cuts open the cheese, like really kind of like rips open the cheese, and pulls out. Hold on 1 second.
And this seems like a perfectly good excuse to wander the wilds anyway. So
Yeah. I mean that's where I was gonna take it. Yeah. She pulls out a single guilder, 5 shillings, and a single guilder and 5 shillings.
Okay.
Considering that those Titan diamonds tend to go for a guilder, that seems like a pretty decent trade right now.
Yeah.
All right. And if we don't find them, we can always come back here. I bet those masks that you're wearing sell for a decent amount. We can talk about the price of those if we need to.
I mean, sorry. Masks don't go for so much. They only really help. They only really work on animals, and animals don't have very much money until they're wearing masks, and they can go out and earn money.
I'm sorry, I keep forgetting this is a simulation. That was a threat. See, I'm threatening you.
Oh,
sorry. Yes. This tea's great, by the way.
Okay, so I think let's take a break here. Asher, welcome. I'm so glad you could join us in the end. Happy to see you. You got here just in time. So I think what's going to happen. So basically, the end of last session, they chased after some wreckers who had stolen the Titan Diamond. They got left with Regina Cow Queen. It's unclear who trusted who and whom has what. But at this point, Regina has confessed that that the wreckers do in fact have the Titan Diamond. You currently have a Woodwoes with you, as well as a imprisoned wrecker by the name of Garrow Moongoat. And Regina has given you some money and a note that says, please return these goods that you stole, that I stole from these people, and they will pay you 105 shillings. All right. So let's take. Sorry to do this right when you showed up, Asher, but the timing is good. So let's take 10. Come back at 20 past the hour, and we will pick up. And I think just as you leave Ellesmere, you will come across Skeleton 8, who can tell you where they have been while they've been missing.
All right.
All right.
Fantastic.
Okay. See you in 10.
Jesse, should we buy like a lot of food and stuff before we leave?
What do you got?
Well, as a matter of fact, I always have jam sandwiches and tea. So
Oh, we're all set.
Yeah, you should be good. You should be good with bottomless jam sandwiches.
Mom always says to be prepared.
Mm-hmm. We have everybody. Great. So I think you folks, wander. Well, let me tell you what your choices are. So as Regina, is I assume unmanacled, and sort of trying to get the circulation back in her wrist, like glaring angry daggers at all of you. She kind of wordlessly walks out towards her boat, with her basket. And Garrow says to you, "So I guess you want to tell me. You want me to tell you where we go." I can't promise I can get you there. But it's on the coast of Rateby. Excuse me, no. On the coast of Burke. Out on the edge of the Sea of Broken Eons. And if you take out your map, he'll point you to that little house next to the wrecked ship. But like, you know how it is here. Like the map doesn't really, getting from place to place is not so simple. But if you want, we can. Eventually, you do get where you're going. So, so here are your choices. You can see if you can get a boat from Ellesmere. Asaf Truman might be willing to sell you one. And you can try to sail around the coast. But the waters are just as dangerous as the land. Or you can try to travel over land. And I'll let you choose if you want to sort of like, you can walk into Brunnen, or sort of like, I'll let you take that corner and just go into Brom if you want to do that, from the edge of the coast there. So those are your choices. You go into Brunnen, you can go into Brom, or you can try and see if you can get a boat, and sail around or row around to Burke.
I'm not in any hurry. I could go either way. What do you guys want to do?
I don't know if I get seasick, so it seems to me that a walking tour is more my first choice.
Yeah, sounds scenic.
Okay. So you follow the coast, and as you're sort of leaving Ellesmere, you come across Skeleton 8. And Asher, do you want to introduce yourself and your character? And we also have a new player here as well. So maybe he can introduce himself too.
Hell,
Mhm.
Skeleton 8. I believe in maximum godlings, that this is a simulation. And yeah, I'm like partly cybernetic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But afraid of gunfire, so.
Wonderful. I put the links to the character keeper and everything back in the chat in case you didn't get them the first time. I don't know what's visible to people. The dice rollers there and everything. Wonderful. And Fred, do you want to introduce yourself to Skeleton 8 because you've never met before?
Of course. Fred waves. He says, "Hello there. My name's Fred. I got sandwiches if you want one.
Are they jelly sandwiches?
They are, yes. My mum's preserves.
I don't need to eat, but thank you.
Do you want to share what you were up to? Where you disappeared to?
I think I was just admiring all these boats.
You just like decided to stick around and look at the boats.
Yeah.
You know what? If you stuck around at Ellismere and looked at the boats, I'm going to tell you some stuff.
All right.
I'm going to tell you some stuff if that's what you did. So if you spend some time looking at those boats, you notice a couple of things. So you'd already seen the ship in the storm with a giant person falling and 5 or 6 people on a boat going towards it that you saw on Turnus's boat. And you saw all of the little figures on Asaf's boat right, marching into a skull-shaped, head-shaped castle, led by a figure in red with a gold symbol. But you'd never looked at Malgo's boat before, but Skeleton 8, I think, saw when they were examining all of the various different boats in town, that there's the figure of a man in a black top hat, with a mask of a lady's face, fighting 4 people on top of a big tower. It's like a whole group. You really can't make out the details, but there's definitely a man in armor leading them. And
Is the man in the top hat in armor?
no, the man in the top hat is fighting. The man in the top hat has the lady's mask, and the man in armor is leading the group against the man in the top hat. And yeah, you also saw on Regina's boat 7 people gathered closely around the table, and like it's got to be you, but like it's more figurative, but like there's someone who's very clearly depicted as a cyborg, and there's a nun with a glint in her eye, right? And there's someone carrying a big old railgun that's probably too big for him, and someone carrying a Lee Enfield rifle like right out of World War II, and also a couple of people, and someone waving a handkerchief about. Probably you think it's kind of faded, and a couple of other people there too. But like, and you don't know what's going on, but that it seems like it's your party. And I think I mean, Skeleton 8 saw all of this, and I assume they sort of passed it on. Do you pass it on like, oh my God, look what I saw, or is it kind of naively, oh, I was looking at the boats in town, or in a different way? Like, how do you sort of describe it to the rest of the party?
I think it's trying to convince them to take a boat because there are all these great things on them. So if we take one, then we'll probably have a story of our own. If we go by land, we'll need somewhere to write our story. Maybe we could get like a card or something to draw on.
So Skeleton 8 is pushing for the boat. The others are suggesting going over land. How do you want to try to resolve the situation? And those painted boats are all owned by people. I guess you could try to steal one of them, but they're not like really seaworthy, those boats, right? Those are the boats people live in. They're kind of like stuck in the mud. And
yeah, I mean, I'm okay with going over land. I just want to write our story down somewhere,
Awesome. We'll keep that in mind.
I can show Skeleton 8 that I have a writing set with paper and pen, so they can do that whenever they wish.
Very nice.
They can borrow my paper.
Awesome. So Garrow's like, okay, I guess we're gonna go. I'm also just gonna remind you, that well, I'll mention that Garrow did say that the Wreckers had never taken the diamond. So whether it's because he didn't know or because he was lying to you, you don't know. But just a reminder, right?
He said something about they took the satchel from her that she had given them.
They took the stuff. He said he didn't know anything about a diamond. He didn't think they had one. He just took some. They took the stuff they always take.
Okay.
I think. What he said. I mean, he doesn't seem that bright. That's quite clear.
Right.
And not that important either. All right. So,
everybody's camera is loading for me. Like I can see Jesse and I can see myself. So I think I'm gonna drop and then rejoin if that's okay. And see if it fixes it.
Great. All right. When Jason gets back, so do you guys do you want to go into Brunnen or Brom? I will give you the choice.
Cool. Let's see.
I mean, Brom seems closer.
Yes.
There's
We have
Oh.
to through Brunnen to get to Brom.
I've given you the choice. You can basically, I'm saying you can kind of like cut off that corner if you want. I'm going to let you do that.
But will we actually get there is the question.
That is always the question, right? That is always the question in Weir Heel.
I think my general philosophy is go as directly as possible to anything that looks like a giant head. Although there's a giant head in both of those, and green is my favorite color, so I'll do whatever people want to do.
I mean, Brom is closer, but you might end up wherever. That's just kind of how this goes.
Yeah.
Where's the Brunnen head? I don't see it.
Lower right. I think it's got a house on it.
Yeah, they all have heads.
Mhm.
From the Titans.
Mm-hmm. Let's try this. Here we go.
Are the little points where we've been before? Like, have we been to Brunnen already?
No, so this is just a map I pulled off the internet. So there are like settlements in each of the Titans. Oh, Jason's waiting for me to let him back in. Sorry, Jason. There are settlements in each of the Titans. So there's like little stickies on that map for them, but it's not. Okay. So I'm just gonna say Brom because people don't seem to want to decide, and that is the one that is like a little bit closer. So yeah. So as you, it's now creeping up into like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning between all the stuff that you were up to, the interrogation and the schlepping and the walking, and you make your way like along the edge of the coast, and it starts to get misty and foggy, and you're not really sure which is which. And Garrow's like constantly sure this is the right way. This is the way to go. And then you emerge out into a interest. Like you find yourself on a hard packed dirt path, with and as the mist sort of clears, you're walking down that path, and it opens up, and the path is running through a forest, but it's not like a sunlight. Sunlight is coming down through the trees. It's late morning. It's nice. You come to an intersection, and it's very neat. And there are sort of like signs, although you can't make out what they say. But as you keep going, you start to notice that in among the trees are all like oddly identical. Almost as if there's like one model and they've all been like carved from the same model. Max, you suspect that like they ran out of budget here a little bit, and like it's just one asset that's been like cut and pasted, and you're kind of disappointed because like this has been a pretty awesome simulation and like so much fine detail, and now they can't even like make 3 different tree models.
No, I
So
know.
one.
This is what happens when you crunch. This is
Yeah.
just-
Yeah, and every now and then, like out of this need for, all of a sudden there'll be like a huge long driveway, leading to like gigantic houses, and then you're back in the woods. What do you do?
Should we go up to one of the houses?
I think we look at Garrow.
I don't know. I guess we're definitely in Brom. I know Brom has places like this. I've never, I don't know if it was here, but it was like near here, or the same kind of place once. And me and Hallie, and we went into one of the big houses. There, the stuff, and there wasn't anything there. It was disappointing. We stole. There was like a carved like horse on the end of a banister, and we took that, but it wasn't worth much in the end. It was not in great shape. Once we drifted off the banister,
What's the place look like that we're trying to get to, Garrow?
It's a big, it's Mother Redcaps. It's a big inn on a beach near the water. Good view of the sea, so that we can see ships come in.
Okay. So should we just keep moving then?
So yeah, if you as you're sort of like moving through, you can sort of see you kind of like are forced in one of 2 directions. Like you're wandering these paths and they're very neat, but they keep on sort of coming back. And ultimately, either you can go east or south. Like those seem to be your choices. Which do you choose?
Is north up on the map?
Oh, it's north is up on the map. Yes.
Okay.
So I guess east is where we came from.
Yeah.
So I guess south.
Yeah.
Well,
Makes
you think east is where you came from, but you're walking on the mist. You got very turned around, so like you did like big picture come from east, but like how you exactly got into this space, you're not sure.
Well, then either without any further information.
Yeah.
Each direction is equally meaningless, so we might as well go south.
Sure. South it is. I'm gonna give Green a jam sandwich. See if he likes them.
Green spits it out. Takes a bite and spits it out.
I would have eaten that.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Does he like the tree leaves?
Yeah. He's been actually at first he did, but as he's like eating more of them, like they start to get like he's like all the same.
Does he like to eat these trees?
Yeah. I mean, that's what he was doing. He was sort of tasting the trees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you make your way. You follow the path south. And you find yourself in a little village. It's a very pleasant place. A bunch of cottages made out of sandstone, only like a clearing in the forest. And you notice actually, if you take a closer look at the trees, I think you actually notice green, enjoying the leaves more. Right, there's more variety in the foliage around this village than there was where you just came from. And if you turn back to look, there's no hard packed path that you just came in on. You can't see the house. Like it's like a deep it's like a thick grown forest behind you, and you're not even really sure like exactly how you stepped into the clearing where the village is. Completely surrounded by thick grown forest. And there's you see sort of sitting and playing a tin whistle. In the center of this village is a cow in a star mask. Sort of in front of a big church. With a tall spire. It's like the dominating feature of this village. Covered in ivy.
Excuse me, we're trying to find our way to Burke. Can you point us in the right direction?
Oh, there's no right direction. There's just in and out. Eventually, you'll get where you're going, or you'll get somewhere else. And he plays a little tune on his tin whistle.
That's a nice tune.
Oh, thank you. I've been practicing my whole life. Welcome to Bromsburg.
Bromsburg. Is there a person named Brom?
Well, Brom is the Titan.
Oh. Is he around? He or she?
The cow stamps on the ground. Right here. We're all on Brom, and Brom's under us. Sleeping, the Titans sleep.
Ever cause you any trouble?
Like I said, there's no way to just in or out. That's troublesome. Tried to get to Legion's Fort once. Took me nearly 3 weeks. Had all kinds of mess. Met some nice people too. But, well, that was an adventure. Found my way home. It was fine, but, trouble. Minor trouble. Other people have more.
Is there someone named Berg, too? Are they in the sky?
Berg? No, this is the Berg.
Bromsburg, right?
Bromsburg. It belongs to Brom. It's his Brom. It's his Berg.
I see.
So we've been eating jam sandwiches all day. Is there anywhere we could get something other than jam sandwiches?
Yeah. Kay Dearson. He points to one of the cottages. We'll sell you some provisions. Well, provisions is too strong a word. Different kinds of sandwiches.
Wonderful.
Perhaps with some mushrooms. There's many mushrooms in the forest around here.
Oh yeah, is there anything we should look out for in the village or when we get it back in the forest? Any dangers, any trouble that we should keep our eyes out for? Open to look out for?
There are some ghosts along the coast who are quite terrifying. You could always fall into Brahm's nightmare, I suppose.
Yeah, I want to hear more about that. Where do you keep the brain diamonds in this level?
He looks at you quizzically.
Sorry. Where's Brahm's head?
He stomps again.
Like it's all mashed? Like, huh?
You keep on asking me where, but you just go and then you get there or you don't.
Oh, right. You mentioned that with the. Okay. How about when?
I'm told that when the Titans wake,
Mhm.
not wake, no, that's not right. It's very bad when they wake. But when the Titans stop dreaming,
Mhm.
then maybe it gets easier to go from place to place.
Right. So, if we take out the brain diamonds, I bet that's like Sandman dust or something. It's probably we should just get as many diamonds as possible. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, everybody
So-
everybody likes diamonds.
Yeah, precisely.
Here you can sell diamonds for quite a penny.
Yeah,
I
there
don't
you
know.
go.
I've never seen one.
Yeah, us neither.
Are these coast ghosts scary? They sound like
Oh,
they're
I've
ready
never
to
seen
fight.
them myself, but I'm told they're quite terrifying.
Cool.
Do you know
Coast
anything to
ghost.
deal with them?
No,
I haven't heard of them before, so just curious.
spend much time in Brahm, my friend.
It's my first time.
So now you've heard of them.
That's true.
And if we sleep here, are we in danger of having Brahms' nightmare that you mentioned?
That was really
I've never had it.
cool.
Well, that's good.
I've lived here my whole life, except for those couple months when I was trying to get to Legion's Fort, and then I was there.
Right.
I thought you never made it to Legion's Fort.
No, I made it. It just took 3 weeks.
Did you have a nice visit?
I did, yes. Oh, there was someone in the stocks that day for something horrible.
Correct.
Got to throw Woodwow's dung at it.
Did you see any Welshmen?
No, Hugh Lupus keeps the Welsh out.
Yeah.
I guess there could have been one in the stocks, but there was not that particular day.
All right.
And then, mhm.
Oh, please.
Oh, I was just going to say, you can speak to Kay Dearson if you would like to purchase some food or provisions of any kind. You're welcome to stay here as long as you like. It's a nice place. We're very hospitable. But there's not much to see here except for the church.
Is it getting late in the day, or is it still like the
I
afternoon?
mean, so
or-
now at this point, it's now like early afternoon.
Okay.
Um,
Should we get a sandwich and then move on somewhere else?
Sure. Look around Bromsburg a little.
Is that in a Anglican or a Catholic church? Because my mum says I can't go into Catholic churches.
oh, no Catholics here. No,
Oh, good.
we're all good. You know, it's the Church of St. Barnabas, who it's, you know, I don't remember Sunday school all that well, but he's well revered in this part of the world.
I think I'll go over into the church then. That sounds interesting.
Sure. You walk into the church. It's not a large church. The spire, you can't actually climb into it. Like there's no, it's decorative. There's no like stairs winding up, and you see a clean. If it's an Anglican church, it's relatively low church sort of place. It's pretty austere. You're actually a little surprised to find it dedicated to a saint, given that there seems to be no like nothing of the cult of the saint in the church.
Is there a priest? Or
No, there's no. At the moment, the church is empty, and you walk
Okay.
in. It's the middle of the day. There's not much happening right now. Your guess is if you arrived early in the morning or later in the evening, you might find someone there, a worship service being led, or yeah.
okay. I think I'll go get the sandwich now then.
Yeah. So you knock at Kay Dearson's doors, and she cries, "Oh my! Visitors, come in.
Thank you.
You're welcome to tea or coffee. We have coffee here. And then if you'd like, I do have to charge you for food. Well, you could have a small, if you want some fruit. It would be very rude of me not to offer you some small thing, but if you want something to take on your journey, I can offer you some sandwiches perhaps, or you could just stay and visit. We could have a nice visit. Tell me where you came from."
We just came from Ellesmere, and we had
Ooh.
quite an adventure there.
There's such a kind pig boy there. What's his name? Don't recall his name, but he is such a delightful fellow.
You're right. I don't remember his name either, though.
I was there once. And oof. Everyone else there was kind of rude to me, except for the cow queen. She served me tea, lots of tea.
Regina, yeah, we know her well. Hey, do you mind if our friend Green comes in with us, or would you rather he stay outside?
I mean, Green has already been let in. Like she just
Oh,
let
okay.
in. It sort of ignored him. It's funny, when I left Ellesmere, I could have sworn that I had a gilder tied into my kerchief, but it must have fallen out. So strange.
Yeah, we lost some things there too.
Everyone there was so kind to me. Well, not everyone, but Regina and the pig boy, very kind. So yeah, she offered you some mushroom sandwiches or some cheese sandwiches. Basically any kind of non-meat sandwich you would like that is not jam.
Okay, I'll buy some sandwiches. Maybe I don't know, 10 sandwiches.
Yeah, so they're 5 pennies each. So at that's half a shilling.
Okay. Anybody else want some sandwiches?
Yeah. Malgo Moonpig.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Love that kid.
I'll take some sandwiches. I'll get
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can do that accounting yourselves. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, so I have the money is on my equipment list. If you just want to jump in and buy whatever you want to buy.
Okay.
Yeah. So at this point, it's now like 3 p.m. That didn't take very long. You're welcome to stay and socialize with Kay, or you can or you can head out, or you can just they'll offer you split you up among the various different cottages if you wanna spend the night.
Well, it's nice here, but I'd say why don't we move on? Maybe get somewhere else before it gets dark. What do you guys think?
That makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So you make your way back out into the woods, and find yourselves along the coast. It's kind of like empty and dead. You can see the ruins of like something kind of like Ellesmere, right? Like concrete canals, but they're dead and empty, and just sort of like grow these odd nettles right? And again, it's like very strange. Like you're almost, as you are walking through the woods to get there, like the space between trees narrowed and narrowed and narrowed some more till you were walking single file. And then there was almost like a arch between the two, like the tree branches were so tight together that they formed an arch. And as you walked through the arch, you found yourself in this like nettle, this concrete wasteland along the coast. When the last of you passes through, you turn around, and the arch is gone, the trees are gone, and you're sort of like trying to pick your way through this space.
Do we hear or see anything moving around?
You hear the waves lapping against the shore. This place is dead. This place is pretty dead. Except because it's getting pretty late. It's actually now around 6, still daytime, but like getting to dusk. And you see a flock of rooks flying in one direction, and you can sort of either follow the path of the rooks, or you can go in the opposite direction, and those are kind of your choices.
I'm thinking maybe we follow the creatures, that maybe they know the right way out of here.
Sure.
If there's coast ghosts around.
Yeah, let's follow the murder.
Okay.
Makes sense to me.
So you follow the rooks, and you eventually emerge out of this little maze of concrete ruins and thorny nettles and chain link fence, down into like an area of gentle hills, and little dips, little vales, that eventually you find yourself at the top of a hill leading down to the shore. There's the land leading up to the shore is boggy and marshy. Right? It's not firm to walk on. And there's like a sweet smell of myrtle in the air. That sticky sweet smell. And as the sun sort of starts to set behind you, it's dark along the coast, and you see sort of spectral forms in conflict. They're off in the distance. They're not approaching you, but you can see these. They're wearing these tight helmets. Their faces are almost completely covered, and they're silent. All you hear is the surf hitting the sand, carrying spears, and little wooden shields. And they just sort of, one of them, like there's a line of them along the line of the water, and another they face each other across, and they sort of like, the ebb and flow of their battle is the ebb and flow of the tide.
So on one hand, it's probably a bad idea to go down there, but I'm also very curious. Should we stay on this hill and rest the night, or go down there?
Well, why don't we go down and check just to make sure that it's safe to rest first?
Okay.
I agree. That's a good idea.
Okay.
Hey, do you mind if we sleep up there?
There They're kind of they're ignoring. Well, sorry. Did you actually shout that, Max?
Sure. Why not?
Though your companions may pass, you may not.
That's what the spirits say.
One of the spirits detaches itself from the group and faces you.
So you like these guys can all go,
They can all go.
but I can't pass. Why not?
No honorless man may pass.
What do you mean honorless. Like maximum goblins. Like
None of you have honor, but no honorless man may pass.
well, that math doesn't work out. Well, you go. I'll find a way around.
Are you the only man in our party? I don't know
Oh,
if that's the thing.
look over at the. What are you? 17 years old, Fred?
Oh no, Fred.
I
yeah.
am.
The boy may pass.
Oh yeah, I see what you're
I'm
getting.
not a boy. I'm in the army, but the home guard. But it's the army. I'll get the uniform. I'm doing my part.
Come back when you know what death is.
Come back when you know what that is. Okay.
Not that this one does either. This one has no honor.
I know what death is. I've like killed 50 people in this simulation already.
Will you take our test?
Oh, there's a test? Yeah, I'm awesome at tests.
What will you have? Wrath or weird? Or to talk of battles old?
Wrath, weird, or talk of battles old? Is that what we said? Those are my options?
Mm-hmm.
Talk sounds easy. Let's do talk or battles old.
Tell me of your old battles.
Oh, geez. Sure. If I don't do well at this one, can I do one of the other ones afterward?
There's no answer.
Okay, cool. All right, hold on. Let me think about this for a second. Have you ever played Halo?
Battle is not a game, maximum goblins.
Okay, crap. Let's talk about weird then. Let's talk weird. I once, I think I fought an ape with like silver ants in its head, like, I don't know, like 3 days ago. That's gonna count for something.
Prove to me your fate lies within the mind of Brahm.
Oh, weird. Like an English class weird. Like with a Y. Prove that my fate lies in Brahm? I mean, it doesn't. I'm trying to get to the place past Brahm. Like, I just need to get out of here. Could we?
Then you may leave. You just may not pass.
All right. What was wrath? Can I?
He steps forward and raises his spear.
Oh, crap. Somebody want to help me out here?
You're the only one being tested, but they can do stuff for sure.
Prove that my fate lies in Brahm. How would one do that?
Lies within the mind of Brahm.
Oh, we have to collect all of the Titan diamonds to fix it so that people can travel through here safely.
You would plunder the mind of Brahm and deprive us of his dream?
I would save you from his nightmares.
We guard his mind.
Oh, well, then I definitely wouldn't do that then. Nope. Yeah, no, in fact, we probably need to go guard it or something.
Show me your proof.
Proof? Can I
Prove that you must guard it. Are we not good enough? Have we not kept out most others for ages and age upon age upon age?
Well, I'm just going to throw out there that you're only stopping men. So, like, I feel like, you're missing over half the population already. Like, you're just, like, letting them go by. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Also, can I see one of the other like diamonds or something?
Yeah, I'll hand you one.
Yeah, like we're protecting these. We
Oh. If you bear a Titan diamond, is the ego machine running out of fuel? Do they need to be replenished with more diamonds?
absolutely. That's why we're transporting this to the
Why-
Yeah.
Why did you not say so in the first place?
I have no idea. I don't even know.
You are a small-minded fool. Finally, you get to the point.
Thanks.
You
Yeah.
may pass.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So he rejoins the line as they continue their ongoing battle, and there you are, at the shifting waterline. You see the door. You see the door, and it's like it's there, then it's not. It's kind of like a painting in the sand. And as the wave comes up to it, it washes away, and then it's back again. And first it's like a round-topped door, with like a little window in it, and then it's like the seal to an airlock. And each time the wave comes in and out, it's an open portal. It's a Stargate. Like just different types of doors in and out every time.
If they hadn't blown their whole art budget on this door, they could have had more than one tree.
So I think we have to run in between waves. What kind of
All
door?
together.
What kind of door do we want to go in? What kind of place maybe do we want to end up? You want to go in the future? Go in a cave? I don't know, like a castle door, Stargate. What do you guys want to do?
We'll be fine as long as we go together.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm up for anything, but like whatever's quick. I think Stargates are slow to open. You have to there's like a combination lock on them, but like Hobbit doors open real fast because they gotta get out and see their buds.
What's a hobbit?
We'll talk later.
So I think we'll just go for between waves. We'll all hold hands and run in together.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We'll grab onto. Come on,
Little-
Green. Grab onto Goro's manacles and drag him in.
Okay.
You don't
Yeah.
wanna sleep?
So you find yourselves. You run through the door and you pass out for a moment. And when you awaken, Garrow isn't there, and Green isn't there, and there's 5 other people with you, in a room that you don't recognize, sitting in wheelchairs, all in sort of like you're wearing robes and pajamas. You're all sort of wearing plastic name tags. If you look around the room, you can see on the name tags, right? There's a Max. When you look around, you see a woman wearing a tag named Sherry, and there's a Jason, and there's an Asher, and there's a Josh, and there's this doctor. They seem like they look medical. They're wearing a lab coat, and they've got a stethoscope around their neck, and they're holding a clipboard, and they say, well, you all seem to be doing very well today. And at today, like, there's like a stutter and a glitch, like pixelates for a second, and then refocuses. Asher, how are you feeling today? Better than yesterday, I hope.
Better? I don't really remember yesterday.
So happy to see it. I'm sorry, I don't. Which one of you? Which one of you is Sherry? He peers around at the name tags, and then comes to you, Belinda, and is like, Sherry, yesterday you were having a hard time walking. Is that still true?
I'm sorry, you have the wrong person.
Oh, it says Sherry on your name tag, and
And I'll sort of look down at my name tag. Let's say, well, this is quite incorrect. Is there some name tag that says Belinda in the room?
no, there are no Belindas here.
Then I will need a pencil.
You will need a pencil. I'm sorry, I can't give you a pencil, Sherry. And he's taking notes, and as he's taking notes, his face like glitches in and out a whole bunch.
All right, then. I will need a paintbrush.
I'll try to get one. I can't get one right now, but I'll later. We'll get one to your room if you want. If you want, I think painting would be a wonderful thing for you, Sherry.
And she sort of looks at the pencil he's got at his clipboard, and she goes, "May I borrow that for just a moment?"
No,
Why ever not?
it's my pencil. You don't get a pencil.
Then could you employ your pencil for me at my instruction?
What would you like me to write for you, Sherry?
And she'll take off her name tag. She'll put it on the table. She'll say, "Please write Belinda."
He looks at you and says, "Why do you want me to do that?"
Because that is the name that I go by today.
You know what? That seems very reasonable to me, Sherry, Belinda.
That's right. I'm excellent at being reasonable.
Mm-hmm. And he does not cross out Sherry, but he writes Belinda above it and puts Sherry in brackets. And like you, as that happens, there's like one of the door to the hospital room kind of flickers, much the way the doctor's face has been flickering.
And I want to change mine to Sister Mary. That's my name today.
Belinda, see what you've done. Does anyone else want to go by a different name? No, just Sister Mary here. And he goes and he takes your name tag, and he sort of like sloppily writes Sister Mary next to your name, next to the name Jason Zanes, but does not bracket it. And as you can see, he's like he was willing to tolerate this for a little while, but he's losing patience with the game.
Actually, could I ask you to write something on mine too?
You could ask, but I have to tell you, we have a limited amount of time here.
Yeah. Just if you could just write something on mine, I'd appreciate that.
He writes something on yours.
All right. Now, as soon as he's close enough to me, I want to jump out of my chair and bite him.
Sure. Roll Dex.
I will fail that roll, but I will roll it.
Mm-hmm.
Natural 20.
Yeah. So you actually like get your face planted like right on his nose as if you were to bite it. As you do it, his face glitches out and your teeth just go right through it. And there's like it feels like you have you know that feeling when you're eating something that's too cold and your teeth like hurt?
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's that, except for it stretches from your teeth like all the way up. Like, and there's just like this moment of like, it's almost pain. It is pain. And he says, now, Jason, don't force me to bring someone in here with restraints.
If I had a nickel for every time somebody told me not to bite them or they'd restrain me. Get over here.
How much money would you have?
I don't know, at least $1.50, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, the door has continued to like flicker at the same rate. Nothing has changed there.
I'm gonna get up and walk over to the door.
Yeah, I'll join. This room's getting boring.
Yeah. So you walk over. The doctor says, "What are you doing now? You know that door is locked."
I say,
Josh tried to walk out yesterday. When it's time to go, you can go.
Fred stands up and he walks the doctor and he whispers to him. He's like, I'm sorry, sir. I think there's something wrong. I need to speak to my mother. This is Susan Daggs. She lives in Derbyshire.
You'll get to speak to your mother tonight, Josh. Although I don't think that's her name, and I don't think she lives in England. But either way, even if I don't know, I'd have to check your file. Either way, you can do that tonight, right now. You should sit down.
Point us to the way to Brom, please. I think we're all ready to go.
Skeleton, Fred, and Max, and Sister Mary, we're all ready to go to Brom.
And the doctor's face like glitches out a bunch. You see him gesture like this, and say, "You are where you're supposed to be." His face is glitching hard, and that door is starting to like glitch in.
Brom. We want to see Brom. Let's go.
Let's
Come
go to
on.
Brom. Come on,
Yeah.
guys.
You know, you wouldn't be glitching so hard if you weren't trying to run a simulation inside a simulation. Like, this is killing your processors.
Yeah, and I think
don't know what he means.
I think at that statement, that's when the glitch, the door disappears, just disappears, and there's a bright orange light that shines through it.
I think we did
Well
good.
done, everyone. Yeah. We'll all hold hands again and walk through and to the orange light.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I wonder where green is.
Sorry.
I wonder where green is.
Yeah. So once again, you pass. You like go dark for a second, and you wake up. You wake up, and you're wearing a white coat. All of you are wearing white coats and masks. And in front of you is like one of those rat mazes. If you've ever seen like a TV show with like a experimenting on rats and stuff, and they go through the mazes. So it's like huge like that. It's made of glass. It's transparent. And there's like, it must be 1 million mice. You don't know how many mice. It's so many mice inside running through this gigantic, these gigantic mazes, and they never intersect with each other. They're just running, millions of them running around, never quite finding each other. And along the sides, you see other people just like you in white coats wearing masks. And you assume now that you've looked around, your mask must have a mirror on the face, because all of theirs do too, as do your companions. And you're standing and like sort of in front of the maze is a TV monitor on like a swiveling kind of arm, and embossed on the monitor are the words, "This is your mouse," and there's a close up on a mouse in the monitor, running through the maze, and you can see that the mouse has a chip implanted in it, so you can see like sort of the like control there, and there's a set of brass controls in front of the monitor, and it says activate. There's a sign, activate your controls in pairs, and there's four controls underneath the monitor. There's cheese smell, spatial memory alteration, fear, which is diffuse, and fear parentheses directional. And you can also sort of see, as you're looking at the maze, that there are these like long plastic tubes that end in a pill container.
Can you run those by us one more time?
Sure, I'll put them in the
Okay.
chat.
I got the first one.
Yeah, I'll put them all there anyway.
Cheese smells easy to remember.
Yeah, I picked up my. Anyway, you don't need to hear that story. There's a cheese smell story.
Sure there is.
And all the other people are doing the same thing as us, trying to guide a mouse.
You don't really know. There's like people. It's a similar thing. Like there are monitors, there's controls. Presumably, that's what they're trying to do.
Well, at least this part of the simulation is a game. I am pretty good at games. What if we hit cheese smell? That's the carrot, by which I mean cheese. At the same time as fear directional, that's the stick. Maybe we'll do some directional fear behind the mouse, some cheese smell ahead. Bam, mouse goes where we want it to go.
Hold on 1 second. I left out something very important, which may be helpful.
Why don't we just let all the mice out?
Kind of like that.
You can definitely try to do that. How do you try to do it?
There's panels, right? Between us and the maze.
There were like pillboxes.
Sorry, the pillboxes are in the maze. Between you and the maze, there's just a wall. Like there's the maze is in front of you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But there's lots of people around. You know, these. That's not true. There's other people all around, and you can sort of see as you're like looking sort of behind. You can see like humanoid figures that move kind of fluidly and are reflective, like past the maze, and a bunch of doors.
But we can't get at any of that from where we're at.
You could walk around the maze.
And we can't get. Can we get at the doors you mentioned, or is?
You would have to like walk all the way around the maze.
Oh, okay.
Which is a thing you could do. I mean, you'll have to go by the people, but.
So I'm just gonna yell "Brom, Brom, Brom," see if it disturbs the simulation first. That seemed to work last time.
Yeah, I mean, you just
Brom, 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 Brom.
You just see the other people in the masks are like looking around, like look up at you, sort of. You can't know. They look up at you, and you don't know what they're doing because they're wearing masks. But you see, you're getting their attention, and they go back to their work. Meanwhile, some of those liquid, sort of reflective humanoids are starting to move around the maze towards you, but it's going to take them a while to get to you.
And can I take off the coat and the mask?
Yeah. You remove them.
Yeah, I'll remove that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like playing along with whatever this is.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Okay. So I guess we can try the maze. We can get our mouse to the safe spot. But
What's the safe spot?
didn't you say there was some sort of like exit to the maze or something that we can
There's
guide
a
the mouse
pillbox
to?
that you're trying to guide them to.
Pillbox, okay.
Oh, okay.
So the cheese with the fear sounds reasonable. You can try that.
1 second. So yeah. Yeah. So what you're gonna do is you can only activate one at a time. Right? It takes 2 people to activate it. That's the key.
Oh,
Can I like
Okay.
sneak around and look at what other teams are doing?
Yeah, I mean, you hear, you hear, excellent. Try more cheese smell from one, or oh no, that fear didn't do what you wanted. And that's not coming from the people who are mostly silent. That is coming out of the monitors.
So if Max grabs one and I grab the other, we have to turn the knob or whatever at the same time.
What was the important piece of information that you felt that we needed to know?
I was wrong. Don't worry about it.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
That's so important.
So why don't we, Max? Why don't you turn cheese smell and I'll turn fear directional.
Sorry.
See what-
So again, it takes 2 people to do one thing.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right. So let's start with cheese smell and see what
Yeah.
happens.
Let's double up on cheese smell.
Okay. Yeah. So so you hit cheese. The mouse advances. The mouse advances, and you hear the machine go, "Oh my, excellent job! You should try more cheese smell."
I'm thinking maybe we don't do what the machine says.
Yeah, that was pretty creepy.
So maybe how about fear directional?
Sounds great.
Okay.
can
Yeah.
we cite where our mouse is in the maze? Like, can we actually tell which?
No, there's so many mice moving through that maze.
Okay,
You have no idea. Like they all look more or less the same.
right. So we have to watch
Okay.
it when you move or do the thing, and it, like, someone sees what it does on the monitor, and so we're going to try to.
Sure, you could definitely try that out. I suspect it will take more time than.
Than doing the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but you're going to be doing the thing the whole time, so who knows?
Exactly.
Yep. So you try. So you do directional fear.
Yeah.
I'm happy to
Yeah.
play this mouse game while you go break stuff. If that helps.
Yeah, I mean, you notice that as you're playing the mouse game, the mirror men are like those mirror liquid humanoids are backing off. Like, oh, now that you're playing nicely, they're not gonna move on you. Anyways, as you say, oh dear, no, that directional fear. Look at that poor terrified mouse.
I think that we have to spook this mouse out of this world. I think we need to scare this mouse beyond reason, and that might break the simulation if that's what's happening. At this point, Fred is not doing good.
Okay.
Sure.
Should we hit it with more fear then?
Yeah, Fred, do you want to take the controls? Do some fear over here?
Sure. Directional or diffuse?
Diffuse
Okay.
is what Fred reaches for.
Great. So the mouse like shrieks a little bit and runs, and you hear the thing. Oh, you've really got him on the run now.
Do it again.
Twist it again. What else have we got?
Directional or diffuse?
Diffuse.
Diffuse.
Diffuse. Okay. He's like moving quick now. Oh my, have you no heart?
Keep going.
I don't think it's a real mouse.
I don't think it's a real mouse either.
You keep going with diffuse.
Let's keep going with diffuse.
Lovely. Oh my, smell that mouse's fear.
Just keep going.
Can I try to track
This
the
is,
person artificial intelligence.
Sorry, one more time. I didn't catch that.
I have like artificial intelligence since I'm a cyborg. Does that help me track the mice? Can I try to figure out anything about what's going on?
If you want to roll will at this point, you've been doing this a bunch. If you've been observing it the whole time, you can roll will to see if you were able to spot the mouse that seems to be doing what your mouse is doing.
This will be my first roll, so it's just the d20, and I'm trying to roll under or over.
Yeah, it's d20 roll under.
Or equal to, right?
Yeah, under or equal to. How'd you do?
I'm trying to find it on the roll for your party. I clicked the button. Oh, that is 17.
And your will is?
10.
Yeah. So you have no idea. You have no idea which mouse is yours. Like really, absolutely none. But the mirror men notice you watching closely, and start advancing towards you again.
So I think Josh is right. This is a psychology experiment, but it's not a rat training experiment. There's a psychologist, Milgram, I think his name was, where you would shock people and the scientists would keep telling you to shock them, and they would say they're dying and all this, and to see how far people would go. So I think Josh is right. I think we got to keep going with diffuse fear and just scare this rat to death.
Look, technically, you could end the Milgram. Sorry, that wasn't Max talking. That was Jason.
Yeah.
We left him in the last room. Forget it.
It's an OSR game, like player skill is a real thing.
People ended the Milgram experiment early by saying, "No, I refuse to shock this person anymore."
Right.
And then they found out that, oh yeah, the guy in the lab coat was actually like a high school biology teacher or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm just an actor.
So yeah, I would say let's just keep doing the fear diffuse.
Sure. So the rat, whenever you hit fear diffuse, the rat just goes straight. That's what, right? Because he's just running in fear. But he's come up to a wall now, and so he runs to his right. You're gonna keep on hitting fear diffuse. Let me know if you change your mind.
I have been observing all along. Can I make a roll to see if I can see it?
Yeah, sure. But the at this point, right, the mirror men are like getting very suspicious of you. They're not quite like, you see, they've been approaching and they've gotten closer and they're watching closely. After Skeleton 8's attempt, but
Okay.
You're more perceptive than Skeleton 8. So go ahead, roll.
Let's see if it works. I rolled a 7 out of 18, so
I mean, now you can see, like, you've been watching the whole time and you notice, like, that's the sort of thing that you catch, right? Which is that, like, as your mouse hits that wall and pulls to its right, you see another mouse. Like, it's almost like you're watching closely, but you're also lucky that it happens to be the wall right in front of where you are.
Mhm.
And the mouse sort of like basically is right in front of you behind the monitor and goes to your left and it's right. You see it there.
And so she knows where it is now. And I think she's eating one of her stinky cheese sandwiches. And she picks her mask up and has a little bit. And she's like, okay. She sort of goes, we need it to go. And can I guide it through the I mean, we'll have to figure out what drives it forward backwards, but at least I know where the thing is.
Right. So diffuse fear has gotten it going always forwards.
Okay.
Presumably, like, you have the choices of cheese smell, spatial memory alteration, and directional fear.
Okay.
So, and to be clear, I realize I was not so clear. So the pill reward is actually in front of you.
Oh, so it's like right near us anyway.
I mean, it's not anywhere inside the maze. It's outside the maze, and it's not clear where you're trying to direct the mouse. I think I misspoke earlier. I'm
Okay.
realizing. But so you want the mouse to move around in the maze. You're not sure exactly where.
Okay. All right, then I just watched the mouse in fascination.
Mm-hmm. So
We don't know where the end point is of the maze. Then is that what you're saying?
yeah, you're just sort of direct. You can see where it's going, but you don't know where you want it to get to.
Oh, okay. And there's no identifying marks or anything that shows. So
Nope.
this seems.
So we have the reward pill.
It's in a sealed tube in front of you.
Is there like a button or anything to?
Just the controls for the mouse.
Okay.
Can we kick it open or anything?
You can try.
How do people feel about me kicking this pill thing?
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, if
sounds
you
like
put a
as good an idea as any.
Sandwich in it, and then it could follow the stinky cheese smell.
Okay.
Sure.
Roll strength.
Oh boy. Are any of us strong?
Okay.
I have a 13. I'm the
Alright.
strongest.
Fred Dags.
So Fred with his steel-toed army boot is gonna try and kick that, and I rolled a 18.
Yeah. You stub your toe on the steel toe of your boot.
Ow.
Shout a curse. You swear. The most colorful English curse your innocent young tongue knows. And at that, the those fluid mirror people are like moving towards you, and you hear. Strangely, you're not sure how you hear. There's no vibration in the air, but you just hear disruption. Disruption.
I'm happy to give this thing a statistically unlikely kick as well.
Go for it. The mirror creatures are almost upon you.
Oh yeah, I missed that. That's 17.
Yeah. I think the mirror creature, the mirror creatures sort of like grab, and at this point, like there's an alarm going off, red lights flashing, right? Like it's clear that you have disrupted whatever was going on, and it is quite bad. But before, so they grab you, Max, and you, Fred, by the arms and say again, there's no vibrations in the air. It's not coming to your ears, but you're hearing it. And they say, if you will please come with us, we can make a report. This does not have to go badly.
Fred does not like this. Fred is backing away. He's trying to sort of get free from them.
Yeah, Sister Mary's gonna bash one of them in the head with a police baton.
Okay, roll damage. There's 4 of them, by the way.
Okay.
Fred would like to pick up the sealed pill container and use it as an improvised weapon.
I mean, it's attached to the. It's attached. It's not just like sitting there.
Damn.
But we have our weapons on us.
Yeah.
Just one damage.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Let's do it this way. 1, 2, 4. Okay. So. Okay. So. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. So you find yourself. Belinda.
Mhm.
Not Belinda. I'm sorry, Sister Mary. Between two mirror men. Reflected between the two of them. And you're not sure exactly what happened, but you feel like a quick whatever it was. There was like a feeling as if they were pulling at you, but there was no effect. And now it is Belinda's turn.
It's Belinda's turn?
Belinda's turn.
Awesome. So I think, let's see here, I've never tried this blunderbuss, but I have my trusty cleaver. So I'm going to try to shatter one of these mirrory selves. So I am going to wallop them with my cleaver, one that's bothering Sister Mary.
Okay. Roll damage.
All right.
Is it the one? Are you going after the one that Sister Mary already hit, or the other one?
Sure. I'll try to see if we can finish it off. It's as strategic as I get.
Okay.
I did 5 damage to it.
Great. Yep. So it like your cleaver,
Mhm.
you're using your cleaver,
Yep.
just like goes straight through it, and it like splatters silverly liquid all over the place. And is done. Meanwhile, while this is happening, you see 4 more approaching from the other side of the maze. This is the sirens are going off. This is a terrible situation. Skeleton 8, what do you do?
What do I do? I mean, I have weapons also,
Mm-hmm.
and they're great for a bunch. Like it's a gun. It's an M16. So I think I'm just gonna spray this whole place.
This whole place. So just to
Yeah.
give you a sense of the space, right?
At least
There's
the-
one of them next to Sister Mary. So if you're trying to spray and hit multiple targets, like if you're spraying, you will probably end up hitting Sister Mary.
Can I just try to hit the rat maze then?
All right.
Or just
Then
in
there's
case?
the 4 coming from the other side of the rat maze, and then there are 2 right up beside Max, and they're next to each other, and they're trying to work their way to a similar position where one's on either side of Max. So you could try the 2 of them. You could try to hit both of them, but a miss might end up with you hitting Max instead.
I think I'll just try to hit the.
I mean, there's
rat.
no miss. What am I saying? This is to the odd. You could just do your damage to them, but you're going to have to make a dex save not to hit Max.
Can I just try to destroy the rat prison?
I mean, oh yeah, you can definitely shoot at the maze.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my best.
How do I want to handle this? Yeah, I mean, I think your first volley, it's pretty like it doesn't go great. You shoot bullets, you fire a volley at the maze, and it's definitely doing some damage, like you can see, but it's not glass. Or if it is, it's like bulletproof glass, and you see like cracks spreading in it, and there's some chips coming off of it. But you, like bullets are ricocheting everywhere, and you're very lucky that none of them hit any of your friends.
All right, so not such a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, if a die roll had gone differently, it might have been a great idea. Declaiming responsibility. Fred.
Okay, I'm sorry. So are the people there's 3 people?
There's 3. There's the one that has been going after Sister Mary.
Okay.
And then there's the 2 that now after that shot that Skeleton 8 took into the glass have now like gotten themselves on either side of Max.
Okay. So Fred is going to raise his Lee Enfield, and he's going to try and shoot one of the ones near Mac.
Do you roll your damage?
Uh, that is a 4.
Okay. Yeah. It splatters everywhere. Just like Max is now covered in this like silver like mercury liquid. All over the place. And Max, it is your turn. The other 4 are almost there.
I'll shoot on the other next one nearest to me and try and make some kind of misguided action movie quip about little friends or something.
Sure, roll your damage.
1.
1. Like the bullet goes through its shoulder, and some of it, some of that liquid mercury, like does kind of shatter. Does kind of not shatter, like drop out of it, but it's still going strong. And now it actually the one that was over by the two of them, right, find themselves positioned in such a way that it is and maybe I should have laid this out a little bit. We should have laid out our positions a little bit more clearly fictionally to make this work a little bit better. But they're able to turn and put themselves one on either side of Skeleton 8. And again, you feel that you feel this odd, like almost tugging at your spirit. Well, Skeleton 8, you're a cybernetic being. Like, do you think of yourself as being like separate spirit and flesh? Is it all one? How does that work?
I think it's a bunch of separate things, right? Because I have the flesh and then cyborg part, I think. Yeah, I imagine it more like a cyborg than all cybernetics.
So whatever it is, right, that sort of unifies those two parts of you, like you can feel it kind of being tugged at by into your reflection in these mirrors, but nothing happens. And we get to you, Sister Mary. As the other 4 are approaching, 2 from either side of the maze.
Okay.
2 each from either side of the maze.
I think I will yell out, "Let's go this way," and I'll go towards. I don't know if it matters which direction, but towards one of the directions, and I will throw one of my bombs at the 2 that are approaching from that direction to try to like kill them so that we can get past them to the exits, maybe.
Yeah, sure. You're close enough. You don't even have to roll dex on that.
Okay.
But what it's going to do is, because of the way the space is, like you're going to have to get through that fire. Probably
How about
make a dex save to get through it without burning.
Tell you what. How about if I just shoot my Tommy gun at the 2 of them?
Great. You got the Tommy gun from the apes?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got 1 round.
Yep. D6 damage. Do it. You're close enough that you don't have to worry about that aiming thing.
Okay.
It only will hit one of them though.
2 damage.
2 damage. It staggers back. It's separated from the other one. They're going to have a harder time coordinating, but it is not dead.
Okay.
Belinda.
If she says we're going that way, I'm going to do what I can to clear the way. So I have a blunderbuss. I don't know anything about it, but I'm going to shoot it at that one she already shot.
Sure. Roll d6.
Okay. A 1. Boo.
Yeah, I mean, it pushes it farther back, or maybe even gets it spinning. Like it's out of the fight for now, but it's still on its feet. I've a little bit lost track of turn order, but I believe it is now going to be the turn of the other one that was in that pair. And it is now making a dive for you. It can't seem to make and as it goes past you, Sister Mary, it's going to do D4 damage. You can roll your own damage. You can.
Three damage.
3 damage. Okay, you take 3 damage. Skeleton 8.
Yeah.
Take your turn. What would you like to do?
I'll wheel around and shoot the one that's stealing my soul.
Yeah, sure. There's 2 of them, but so one to your right or one to your left.
Which way are we heading?
I guess they went to which direction did you run off in, Sister Mary? It doesn't really matter. Just choose one.
Left.
Great. So you're heading to the left, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, roll your damage.
Okay, so I don't have to roll to hit.
No.
I got a 7.
Okay. Yeah, it just explodes. It just straight up explodes in a silver mercury fine mist,
Long enough.
covering you and Max again, and probably getting a little bit onto Fred.
So there's one left trying to steal Skeleton 8's soul.
There's one left next to Skeleton 8. There's the 2 coming from the right, that are in a moment going to do a thing, and then there is the one on the left that hit Sister Mary.
And Sister Mary's trying to get out, it sounds like.
Sister Mary, you're trying to get out?
Yeah, I was trying to run around the maze to get to the exits that were in the back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will shoot the one that presumably is between me and Sister Mary, considering that I would like to start running in that direction too.
Sure, roll damage.
1. I'm going to stop re-rolling that die.
Yeah. So it reels back for a second, but then closes on you, and you take D4 damage as it punches you in the face. Its hand kind of squishes as it does it, but it's solid enough.
I raise my arm and block it with my polycarbonate sport jacket.
Got it.
Does
Okay.
2 damage.
Mm-hmm. So the other actually let's Fred.
Yes.
What would you like to do?
Fred is going to take aim at one coming from the right.
Sure. Sorry, I did the wrong thing. Sure. Roll your damage.
That is a 3.
Okay. Yeah. It, unlike the other ones, it doesn't like explode into particulates, but just kind of like your bullet punches a hole in it, and it just kind of like collapses around that hole and onto the ground, and there's a puddle on the floor. And you hear coming from the one that was with it. There is no need. Again, you think it's coming from it, but it's weird. There's no like sound moving through the air. It's not coming in your ears. There is no need for all this violence. We can make a report. Everything will be fine. And as it says that the one. This is a case where a little sketch would have probably been helpful. A lot of guys here. The one who are all the same. The one that was standing, the one of the original ones that's still standing, right? Moves around. Sorry. Moves around to the left, and finds itself positions itself such that it is between that Belinda is between it and the one surviving left side mirror creature, and she feels that feeling, but thankfully nothing happens. And that, yeah, everyone's gone, and now Belinda, what do you do?
See, that was just rude. I'm just switching back to my cleaver and taking a swack at the one that's between me and the exit that Sister Mary has indicated.
Roll
You
damage.
kind of say back to the others, it's like, just follow Sister Mary's instructions. It always works out.
Yeah, roll damage.
All right. A 5.
Yeah. It just sort of like melts around your cleaver. And it's strange because you slice through it and like a literally like a hot knife through butter. And it reforms as you're cutting it through as if you did nothing. And then it just sort of like slides down along that seam into 2 separate puddles.
Okay.
Sister Mary, what do you do?
So there shouldn't be any more on our line to the exit
Correct.
now, right?
Correct.
So I'm just
You are
gonna.
clear. There are, just so you know, there are three surviving three surviving of these creatures. The one sort of back in the middle around where Skeletonate and Max are. One and then one around like between Sister Mary and Max, Skeletonate, and Fred. Not Sister Mary, between Belinda, Max, right? If Sister Mary is the farthest over to the left, then Belinda, right, who followed. And then the other 3 are sort of clustered back near the apparatus. There's one by the apparatus and 2 to the right, and you're clear.
So I think I'm just gonna kind of lift my skirts a little bit and just run as fast as I can to the exit.
Yeah, so there's no exit, right? But you're running
Or
behind
the
you're
other
running
side.
around the maze, right?
Yeah.
And there's you get there's like a bunch of doors and hallways there. Yeah, you're clear. The other people who are doing this thing are basically ignoring you. You see one group sort of celebrate and eat their reward pill and disappear. Or did not even eat it, just grab it and disappear. Meanwhile, it is now Skeletonate's turn.
So I'm near that reward pill, right? Can I like grab that as I run away?
So it's in a tube, right, affixed to the apparatus where you were controlling the thing.
I thought you meant like a pill bottle.
No, it's like a tube that has a pill inside it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just run with everybody else then.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you have to get by one of the creatures to do it. So roll a dex save to avoid taking damage.
Sounds like a good time. So this is a D20 also?
Yeah, it's all the same. D20 roll under.
Right. I just have like 8 decks, so this isn't good odds.
I mean, there's other things that you for damage. You might roll D4s or D6s, and there's D8s for some things.
So.
You got a 4?
good. Yeah.
You're good. Yep. You sort of like tell me how you get by this thing. What awesome cybernetic thing do you do to just like leave it in your dust?
I think I use my dark vision, right, which is like heat sensing, so
Mhm.
I can see where it is a lot better than using my mirror. So I'm like closing one eye and just looking that way, and that way I can get around it without thinking that it's the environment, you know.
Awesome, Max. What do you want to do?
Anything that I do that would require saves is going to go badly. But I have a crowbar. Um, what's the likelihood that I could pry open one of these pill container things?
I think it's pretty high. I think it's more a question of time than skill.
Yeah, I'll
So
give
like
it. I'll give
you
it a
can take
shot.
you can start opening it on your turn and by your next turn it will be done.
Sure, I'll start that, and hopefully nobody eats me in the meantime.
Mm-hmm. All right, Fred.
Yes. I'm gonna shoot the pill container.
That is currently like being.
Well, I'm gonna say, can you? Is there any way? How's the pill container being handled? I'm sorry.
So Max is trying to pry it open with a crowbar. If I'm going to be very afraid. If you want to try to shoot it, I'm going to roll a luck die.
Okay.
And like the results, assuming Max is willing to get out of your way, I'm going to roll a luck die, and whatever happens,
Yeah.
happens. If you wait till
Okay.
Max's turn, it's open. So it's a question of how much and what kind of a hurry
Okay.
are you, and are
Well,
you willing to have the bad potential result of that luck die?
I am willing to wait
Mm-hmm.
in that case.
Mm-hmm.
Fred thinks about it, and he sort of raises his gun and he looks at it and he goes, "Nah," and then he puts his gun down. What?
So there is one there are two of these mirror creatures, sort of between you and Max, like in that vicinity, and then there is one farther out to the left, with where Skeleton 8, Belinda, and Sister Mary have all sort of run off in that direction, so farther on.
Okay.
So you can, if you want to try and run and follow them, you can roll a dex save to try and do that. I suspect that will make it harder for Max to do what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
You can try and take out one of these creatures.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay with Max and take out one of these things.
Sure. So one of the two that's nearest you, or the one that's farther away.
One of the two is near.
You can tell that one of them is hurt more badly than the other.
I'm gonna go for that one. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Roll your damage.
That is a 3.
That is a 3, and it again another explosion of weird mirror material. And so now these two, it's very strange, right? They start closing in on Max and closing in on Max, but they don't. Once his reflection is reflected in both of them relatively equally, he feels that tug, but still manages to be fine.
Okay.
And we are back to Belinda, who has a clear path towards Sister Mary if she wants it. She can go back and engage the last of the two mirror creatures, or she could do something else entirely.
So are the mirror creatures between Max and the exit?
Well, there's no exit necessarily, right?
Right.
There's a
Yeah, Max and towards where Sister Mary has told us to go.
one of them is. I guess both of them are in opposite directions.
So, in some ways, I desperately need them all to listen to Sister Mary. This is what I've decided is the thing that's going to work. It is my magical cure-all. So I'm going to go and try to take care of that one that's between them and Sister Mary.
Great. Roll damage.
Okay. Five.
Yeah, it poofs. And there is one left, and it clearly doesn't know what to do with itself. Right now, it doesn't have a double to catch the reflections in, and it's flailing around. At this point, like if one of you wants to go up and just like finish it, that is fine. Or you can try to engage it if you want, or ignore it. It will try to. If you ignore it, it will hit you a couple times and do some damage. But it seems like it's a little bit lost at what to do right now.
Can I just run up and hit it with my baton then?
Yep. It just like drops into a pile of liquid silver. And yeah, Max, you get the tube open. What do you do?
We'll grab that pill.
You grab that pill. Okay. And as you grab the pill, you suddenly feel this, all of you, not just Max, feel this strange feeling of vertigo. And you wake up in a gallery hanging in two people's arms. So there's each one of you is in two people's arms. And you're all in the robes and mirror masks you were wearing before, including you, Sister Mary. You took it off, but now they're back on again. And surrounded, like hanging there, surrounded by all of these strange art pieces, and more robed mirror men, not the mirror creatures from before, but the people who are like yourselves in robes and mirrors. And I think we'll end there. We're a little bit past time. Sorry for keeping you late.
No problem.
No.
Thank you so much. This is the strangest of all of the dungeons. This is the strange. Braum is the strangest of all of the strange titans in this game. Well, Burke is also really weird, but they're different kinds of weird, and they're all weird. This is, next session we will finish this. We will finish this off, and then try to come to a sort of satisfying conclusion for everybody, or unsatisfying, but a conclusion of some kind. Josh and Asher, you're welcome to join us again. I'm going to end the broadcast now. Thanks everybody for watching, if you did. And we'll see you next week.